Happy December! It's December. I'm so excited because it means that everyone is going to be in a holiday spirit. I like to think that we can be in the holiday spirit all the time, but as you know, that's not always true. But I'm going to give you a challenge because we're going to talk today about the frequency. If I can turn my dang phone off, sorry about that. We're going to talk about a challenge, a frequency challenge. I just gave it to one of my groups, and in a conversation I had with another several people on last week, right before Thanksgiving. Anyway, this is a 3-day challenge, and it doesn't have to happen in 3 days. It can happen in 3 sections. But I want you to listen really carefully for the nuance, because I'm going to tell you where most people drop the ball. Okay, the way that it plays out is if you can maintain the frequency. Like right now, let's say your baseline frequency is right here, and this is your life and your environment because this is the frequency that you are at. Does that make sense? It can be no other way. It is a universal hermetic law that's been going on for thousands of years based on universal principles. No president or king or queen or anyone else invented this. Everything else that we know, from education to military to, the workday, everything else is based on human consciousness, meaning our awareness. Universal principles are what keep the earth spinning in the galaxy, right? It's what keeps us breathing. It's things that science hasn't even figured out, but what science knows so far supports this. It's really clear or really important you understand that, because a lot of times we think, well, that doesn't make any sense. It makes sense. If you understand universal laws and principles, it makes sense. So whatever you're experiencing in your life, there's good and there's not so good. Whatever it is all 100% congruent with the baseline frequency that you vibrate at. Make no mistake. There can be days when you are super happy and just life is good and you're so generous and you love life and it's just like kitties and unicorns and everything's great. And so your vibration is like up here temporarily. And then you have other days where it's like, what am I even doing here? This isn't worth it. I hate this job. I'm never going to get ahead. And your frequency's down here. So the median, and as a psych major and as a professor, we would say the bell curve, right? But the median of that is your baseline temperature, your baseline frequency. Does that make sense? I want to make sure you follow me so we can really, really be clear on this challenge. So you may have a really good day and a meh, and then every now and then a crap day. All of those balance out and they give you your baseline. And let me tell you, your baseline frequency has very, very likely been the same range for your whole life. People who go through, you can do a 2-week yoga retreat or a meditation retreat and you can raise it incrementally a little bit. But if you pay any attention or you've ever read, oh my gosh, my brain. If you've ever read Power versus Force, Dr. David Hawkins, wonderful, wonderful guy. I got to meet him before he passed away. But he has the range of frequency and vibrations. And most of humanity is at 200 or right below 200. And if he were here today, he'd probably say it's right below 200 because things have gone down. But as it goes down, there are other people who are ascending and it goes up. So it's just always kind of in that range. Does that make sense? So your baseline frequency can be really easy to determine by looking at your life. And you have to get really honest. Tony Robbins and my mentor 𝒂𝒂 always say, your life is the quality of the questions you ask. It's not good, it's not bad, it's the quality of the questions you ask. And most of us are running around asking, why does this suck? Why can't I have this? Why? And your brain is a heat-seeking missile. It is looking for the answer to the question. So if you're asking yourself questions like, why can't I have that? Why don't I get that? Why aren't I rich? Why can I never get ahead? You are going to get in your environment evidence of being right. Does that make sense? So you want to start asking better questions. How can I get that? Why do I have such a good life? Blah, 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 blah. But those are the things that will help you for this exercise we're doing, this challenge we're doing. So your baseline doesn't change like that. But you know what? It can change like that. You don't have to go to a retreat. What happens when you go to one of those retreats and you meditate 3 or 4 hours a day? Wonderful. And you may even heal cancer or something amazing like that. But you come home, and if you don't intentionally, energetically, emotionally, physically maintain that frequency, being back in the same environment with the same people and the same jobs, you're going to go back down to that frequency. This is why it takes conscious effort and intention to raise your baseline frequency. And I'm saying all this, and you may be going, okay, get to the point. What's the point? That is the point. You have a baseline frequency. You are experiencing the life you are experiencing in the environment you're experiencing it because that's what your baseline frequency is. It's not about getting more training, getting a better job. It's not about, I need to drink more celery juice. I need to do a cold plunge. I need to have this done or that done. No. Ultimately, it's about raising your baseline frequency. Which is simultaneous and synonymous with raising your consciousness. That's not a coincidence. Consciousness and frequency are the same thing. So as you expand your consciousness, you raise your frequency, and then your environment reflects back to you that new level, that new baseline level. Now, I'm not saying that things like radionics, energy work like I do on clients with AO scanner, or Healy, or having someone do hands-on healing, or taking more supplements, or going on a juice fast. I'm not saying those things don't help you contribute to maintain a higher level frequency. They absolutely do, 100%. That's why I do what I do. But it's not just that. You have to be at this party. You have to make a conscious choice, a decision. I am going to raise my baseline frequency. And how you do it is by expanding your consciousness. And part of the reason, and I don't do this so much in my videos, but a big part of my coaching now is helping people collapse charges and helping them, I do a lot of the work that I have learned as a client with the 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂 method. That's not my whole process, but oh man, he's amazing. And if you've never read the Values Determination book, I always recommend it, and I think you should, because part of the problem with the whole world is people aren't following their passion. And so if you're following your passion and you're doing what you love, then your frequency automatically raises. See, part of the reason your frequency is where it's at is because you've done everything you think you're supposed to, and you're not doing what you really want to. And so when you make that decision, like, this is what's important to me, and I only have one life, and I don't know how long it's going to be, so damn it, I'm going to do what I love to do, what I was put on this planet to do. And you know you were put on the planet to do it if you can do it, and time just flies, and you love to do it, and you can make a living of it, whatever it is. I once knew a guy who made $50,000 a month teaching online women and men how to do handstands. Okay, I knew him. I was in a mastermind with him, so it's true. Do what you love. That is the first step. The second step is not letting the echoes, the reverberations of yesterday's frequency, the baseline frequency, infiltrate today's frequency. So let's say your baseline frequency for the last, let's just say 20 years, whatever, 5 years, I don't care, you pick. And let's say it's right here. And you have a good life, and there's some things you'd like to improve, but it's pretty good. So in order to have the things that you'd like, and I don't mean just material, I mean peace of mind, loving relationships, the intangibles as well, your baseline frequency would have to be right here. And I want to tell you, it's not like it has to be that far, right? If you were that far, you probably would leave the planet. You'd be like, yep, you're done here. So you just need to go a little bit up, right? A little bit. So you choose. As of today, you're like, Tamara says this, I'm going to try it. I need to keep my frequency high for 3 days. So you're going to think about what you love. You're going to embody it. You're going to envision it. You're going to feel so good. And in an instant, you've raised it to your frequency. Awesome. But remember what I said about one day here, one day there. So what happens now, you're walking around today and you're at this level of frequency and you're like, life is good. I see beauty in everything. I'm doing my collapse work and I know that whatever bad happened, there was good out of it. I'm rocking and rolling. But then something from your frequency when it was here pops back up at you, because that's how it happens. The universe is, there's a delay, there's a gap in time, right? So you're being high frequency right here, but your baseline has always been right here. So as you're going about day one, maybe day two, something hits you that was from this level, from this timeline, if that's more comfortable for you, from this level of consciousness that you were at for years, even though you just raised it and you're determined to stay here. Something from this baseline pops up in your environment and it smacks you in the face and you're like, oh, hell no. Boom. And then the next year you're like, oh, I got to get back up. And there you go. There you go. Just like a preset thermostat. You're right back there. So your goal is to choose a frequency that you want and stay in it, even with things hitting you that are from yesterday, from this baseline frequency. Because you know what? That's the part that people miss. People are like, well, I'm just going to go away and I'm going to go to a meditation retreat or yoga retreat, and I'm just going to be there 10, 20 days, and then I'll have that frequency going that whole time. That's great. That's beautiful. But if you come back home and you get back in this environment, the key, the universal key, is to be in your everyday environment. And then when that stuff pops up at you, you have to stay here. Doesn't mean you can't take care of business. Doesn't mean you won't have a moment of frustration here or there, but you have changed your baseline frequency. So this stuff right here pops up at you on day 2, day 3, being back in your normal environment, and you don't go back down. You say, okay, from this level on the mountain, I can see that this is all for my greatest good. From this level of frequency, from this level of consciousness, I can look at that and I can go, okay, I got to pay that IRS bill. I'll work it out because I am at this level now. And if you can do that in your normal environment, when stuff pops up, because if stuff doesn't pop up, it doesn't count. And I know that sounds counterintuitive, but here's the thing. Part of maintaining the baseline is maintaining the baseline when things pop up. So if things never pop up, then you don't have anything, you're not doing it. It's like entering a race and running really fast and saying, I know I beat the 4-minute mile, but nobody timed you. It doesn't count. You have to have stuff pop up at you so that you can flex your muscle and show the universe and your consciousness and your higher superconscious self that, yep, here's proof. Here's the timer. I'm at this level of consciousness now, because that used to really send me down a rabbit hole. And now I'm just like, oh, shucks, I wish that didn't happen. Doesn't matter, because I am at a higher level of consciousness. I am at a higher frequency and I'm staying here. You get it? 3 days. You do that 3 days and your environment will start to change. Because remember, your environment is nothing more than a reflection. Because your unconscious, your superconscious is projecting out your frequency all the time. And that's what you're experiencing. And you think it just happened. That cop just pulled me over. Or that bad check just happened. Or that client just fired me. It's from yesterday's baseline frequency. It's keeping you even. You get the good, you get the bad, keeps you even. The universe will, the law of polarity will keep you even. But you can raise that baseline. And it's incremental, and it's all up to you. And the key is to let something happen and to stand at your baseline, your new baseline, in spite of how it makes you feel. Do some EFT, do some collapse work on it, but show yourself that this is your new frequency. And you do that for 3 days, and your environment will begin to reflect it, and you'll see it, and you'll be like, yes, I knew this worked. I'm so glad I took Tamara's 3-day challenge. Okie dokie. So I hope you have a beautiful day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.